So I'm sitting here and I just finished Oppenheimer, and like it's a long movie. And Oppenheimer's he's not exactly a happy dude, but if I created a weapon like that, I wouldn't be very happy either, and especially if someone else um, took over control of it and used it against my wishes. You know, because there really was and is potential for nuclear arms to destroy the world, and their invention destroyed the age of innocence, in which we could have conflicts on the battlefield and have any kind of equality, right? And that's what started the arms race of the Cold War and nuclear proliferation. Um, because once Pandora is out of the box, you can't put her back in, and she's just gonna dance around all over the place, stirring up lots of trouble. So, why was in my opinion, or I'll answer this through a question. Why was Oppenheimer filmed in 2023? Why was it distributed? Well, I'll tell you why. Because of the impact of propaganda and the lack of media literacy, and the effect that let's put it like this: the gay bomb had on society. It was a French nuke, right? A unicorn. Let's make everyone unicorns. And this is by no means disrespect to anyone that was trying to help the queer community adjust to society and integrate after the failings of the AIDS epidemic. And especially the judgmental attitudes towards homosexuality um, within European and North American Christian dominated society. And again, that's not an endorsement. But I don't want to kill people. Well, at least not right now, anyway. Um, I wanted to earlier today. I'll tell you that I was extremely angry, extremely pissed, and I couldn't exactly figure out why. And that's the thing, is that there's always these ruminations going on in the pioneers or inventors or the first adopters of any kind of technology, is that there's repercussions, unforeseen consequences, like ripping a hole in the fabric of time and splitting the universe into two parallel timelines. It's like that's the thing, is that after a certain point, no one really knew what was real anymore, because of the proliferation of misinformation and the propaganda machine. So that's an issue too. So when you understand human psychology, and like to such a high degree, with weaponized artwork, as learned from, I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I've learned so much from other people and history in general, that I don't want the things that I've learned falling into the wrong hands and then causing a population collapse or a mass die-off, um, because of the techniques and principles that I espouse and that I observe and that I'm communicating with you as the viewer. Because the nukes are one thing, but propaganda is an entirely different thing, and there's no real regulation on it. And to the militarized mill, yeah, that's exactly militarized. The militarized propaganda mill, um, destroyed our society. We destroyed it by collectively, by some people going in a woods and abandoning society, and the other ones by frothing at the mouth and seeking cannibalization and feeding off of, feeding off of the high status people, the vampirism, and this revenge thing by which so many people have been affected by, clearly has backfired and created this climate within the culture as it is in 2024 of nihilist accelerationism and Satanism. Quite frankly, this hedonistic um, downward spiral. And there's so many people now that have been absolutely fried because of them trying their attempts to cope with the constant bombardment of this negative and also altered state of consciousness. And this is the reason why MK Ultra was declassified, was because people were abusing it. And now that, and then also all of these marketing, the SEOs got a hold of and know about these principles, including come on, Zoe, come on, get up. Including learning, and reading Edward Bernays's Century of the Self. Complete utter atomization, and in the half life of these efforts has come to its potential as it is right now, um, from something that started 35 years ago, in the 1980s. And we have a chance to fix that, even with the people that are guilty of these crimes against humanity. There's not enough people on the planet anymore, by my measure and my educated guess, um, for us to go back to corporal punishment or any kind of restrictive and diminutive um, means of isolation or ostracization. The tar and feather. We can't really tar and feather people anymore because of the internet. You can't just put them on an island like Napoleon and forget about them. So what do we do with the intellectuals that started this whole thing? Like I was saying in that short, we can't. We will probably put them put them to a panel like Oppenheimer was, and then question their motives and their goals, and then we will deduce whether or not they've been lying or not, or whether or not they've been infected with a mind parasite, and whether or not they deserve to have freedoms anymore. Because the way that they exercise their freedoms and privileges within our society was to remove them from other people, and unjustly so. So instead of blowing up the Geneva Convention, I know that we like doing that as Canadians. I would like us to choose a different path. And we can't just send them to Mars either, even though I would love to do that and hurl rocks at them. But if they resist because they just can't come to terms with their violation of humanity, then we have to imprison them. And then if that's not enough, if that's not enough reformation, then we will have to execute them, because it'll just keep on happening. I don't like that. I really don't. But the devil works in predictable ways, which is the exact opposite of how we think about with the expression how God works in mysterious ways. Like the devil is predictable. He really is. So that's the next question, right? We can't. I don't see how it's going to help, especially since so many of them are so old. To force all of them to drink the poison hemlock. I really don't have all the answers. Um, I just don't think that we need to drop any more nukes right now. Don't you?